G'day guys, Cam Wild Touring. I've got a new trip series starting in about 2 weeks time on YouTube and I'm really excited to show you it. Now before we get up there, there's a heap of preparation and packing that goes into getting all this gear up there. We're going to be about 1,000 k's north and some pretty remote coastline around the Shark Bay area. So there's quite a bit I've got to get done. First thing I've done is take the car to AGD Auto in Wangara. Aaron there's looked after me with fully servicing the car, replacing some front body mounts that desperately needed doing, fairly common on the D-Maxes. He's also replaced the front wheel bearings which were due and repacked my manual locking hubs because they weren't working too well. So all that's done, car's driving better than ever. I'm really happy with that. My major concerns being so remote is going to be power and water. They're generally the first two things you've got to worry about. Now power, I'm going to be sweet. I've got 150 amp hour of lithium in the car and heaps of solar, so that'll look after me running one fridge. I'm going to be cooking off gas most of the time because my mate Brad's bringing his camper trailer up, so we'll cook off his kitchen. So I'm not going to be using the induction cooker much anyway. Now water. Water's the main thing that's going to cut my trip short. I've got 70 litre stainless steel baffled water tank underneath the canopy, and that's heaps for how long I'm going to be out there. It's heaps if I'm not using too much. So to know exactly how much I'm going to use, I'm going to install the Topogy water tank monitor. Same unit I've put on the caravan. It'll speak to my phone via Bluetooth through the app and it will tell me exactly how much capacity I have left, litre by litre. So it's a really simple install. I've actually already done it, so I'll show you what I've done. The sender unit is has got push fittings, like John Guest push fittings, so you just cut your water pipe and tee this thing in. The Bluetooth unit doesn't need hardwiring into your battery system unless you want to. There is a patch lead to do that, but I'm just going to be running this off the AA batteries like I do in the fan. That works fine. And then it talks through Bluetooth to your phone. So you just bring up the app and you can tell exactly litre by litre once you've calibrated it, how much water capacity you've got left. So that's going to be a godsend for me. Another couple of things I've got from the same company, Topogy, that might be of interest to you. When I did the video installing this same water tank gauge in the caravan, a few people said, yeah, that works fine if you're fully filling your tanks and then you reset the gauge to full capacity and you can start counting down litre by litre from there. But what about for people that only half fill their tanks or whatever, for whatever reason they do that, generally because of weight? That's not an issue for me, but if that is an issue for you, if you don't fully fill your tanks, what you could do is use a water flow meter like this one, which is also from Topogy. This has just got normal hose fittings on it. This will tell you litre by litre how much you're putting into your tanks. So if you only want to half fill your tanks or put 50 litres or 100 litres or whatever, you could use that to count exactly how much you're putting in. And then from there, you can see how much you're using through the app. So there's an option for you. I've used both of these and they work really well. Another thing I recently got from Topogy, which I haven't used yet, but I'm keen to for this trip, is something they do called the Evershower. I'll show you some of their pictures from online because I haven't actually set the thing up yet. But yeah, basically it's a shower in a suitcase, if you like. So it's essentially a shower tent. What's a little bit different about it is that it's got like a sump in the bottom. So you're sort of standing in the sump and as you're using your water, you're recycling it. So you fill it up with 3 to 5 litres of warm water that you might heat on your gas hob or whatever, or your induction cooker. And then you'd want to wash your face and your hair first and your private bits last, I guess. But you're going to recycle that 3 to 5 litres. So you could have a 20-minute hot shower off 5 litres of water, which I think is awesome. I don't mind having just a quick swill if I'm out for a few nights, but if I'm doing an extended trip, it's going to be really nice to have a longer hot shower. I wash all the salt water and stuff off me. So I'll tell you more about that when I actually use the thing after this trip. We'll do a bit of a review or something and I'll let you know how it went. But yeah, it could be a really good option if you're doing longer trips and you don't have like an ensuite in your caravan. If you're in a camper trailer or you're swagging or whatever, like I am this trip. So that should be good. Anyway, I'll take you to the canopy for a sec. Hey, this alley shelf's been really good too. I think I briefly mentioned it in the Bremer Bay series, but boys from Thunderfab put that in for me. I made it the exact width for these 2 drawers so that the outboard can still slide in and out because that comes up quite high, the outboard motor. But yeah, great for storing pillows, clothes, my towels there, some shower gear, hoses, compressor hoses, all sorts of stuff like that. I've had dive gear like fins and snorkels and stuff like that. Smaller things or things that you don't want to get damaged from crap rolling around at the back, really good to go up there on that shelf. I'll show you one more thing. inside the car. Hey, another new little gadget I've got that I wanted to share with you. You've seen before these iCheck tyre deflators that I've had on the channel. I've reviewed them before, and I love these things. They're an automatic tyre deflator, and they've got preset pressures scribed into them so that you can adjust it on the fly. They're really good. I think I mentioned that I was going to get a second set because I was going to leave one set at 16 pound for beach pressures and another set dialed in at like 25 pound for rocks and gravel and that kind of thing. Plus it'd be nice to have two sets so I can deflate the car and the van at the same time. Like, you know, 3-4 minutes I can have 8 tyres deflated, which is really good when you've got a couple of kids in the car that are driving you bonkers. So when I went to get a second set, I noticed that iCheck have brought out a Pro Series set of deflators. So you still get 4. They look pretty much the same. You get a couple of spare valves in there, which is good, and a valve tool, which is quite nice, and some spare caps. But the major difference with these deflators is they've now got, the previous set I had increments, pressure increments, 5 pound at a time. So, you know, like 10, 15, 20, 25 pound. These go right down to either 1 pound or half a pound. I think it's half a pound. So you can dial these things right in. I'm yet to actually use these yet and see how accurate they are, but they are essentially the exact same as the ones I was using before that I've been using for months. So I can't see why they wouldn't be exactly the same. But I'll let you know towards the end of this trip anyway, because I'll be using them a fair bit. Anyway, I've got to get back to packing. I've got a heap to do and not enough time to do it. And I need to go pick up some bait, pick up some fresh food, pick up some bread rolls, which I've got a cool story about. I'll tell you about later when this trip series starts. But this trip is probably going to be the second last big trip series you see in this car, and that's because Tiff and I have ordered a new car. So if you've been following us for a while, especially on like Instagram or Facebook, you'll know that Tiff and I have been seriously deliberating between buying a new Y62 Patrol or a new 300 series Land Cruiser. We've made a decision, we've put in an order, and we're really excited to tell you about it. I'm not into grand reveals or like teasing out information, you know, all the suspense and that kind of thing. But I am going to tell you about it in a video next week, and that's because I want to put it all together with a bit of an explanation as to why we picked it. Because the way that we managed to figure out what we wanted may also help you make a decision if you're on the same sort of boat. So next week I'll tell you what we bought and how we came to that decision. So yeah, look out for that next week. Hey, also guys, we've got new hats. If you're into hats, check them out. They're on the web store. Cheers guys, I'll see you next week.